My name is Abby Smith, and I'm doing my final project for sustainability in fashion, and I'm here joined by Spencer Bunting to talk about sustainability in the fashion industry. I'll let Spencer introduce himself and give his background.
Hi, it's good to be here. I know a lot about sustainability, but not much I would say about fashion. I recently graduated from Marist in environmental science, so I'm more familiar with sustainability when it relates to maybe fuel and other like large scale industries, but I've never really actually heard or been engulfed in like the way it can be used in fashion. So this is something pretty interesting to me. I'm interested to learn kind of all the things and how the fashion industry may be using it.
Mhm. When I say sustainability, do you feel happy or sad?
I feel happy, and I feel happy because I know that from what I've learned, it's reusing things and making things better for the long term because you're using less, and future generations and things like that will be able to be better off as far as what I've kind of learned so far.
Yeah. So when I say sustainability in fashion, does that make you feel the same?
Yeah, I would say it actually makes me even feel happier because since I didn't know much about the fashion industry and how things work, the fact that sustainability and fashion can be linked is something that really kind of raises my eyebrows. And I'm thinking, well, that seems like the fashion industry is so big. If sustainability could be applied to it, that could probably help out a lot of other industries. And when it comes to use, energy, material, all those kind of things.
Yeah, the industry definitely has a long way to go, but it's slowly getting there. It's way better than it was like 10 years ago. But leading up to that, most people don't really know about sustainability in fashion and they aren't comprehending of like how much they contribute to not being sustainable when it comes to the fashion industry. When you are shopping, do you even pay attention to where your clothes are coming from?
Not really. I just kind of shop for kind of things that I think look good. I usually shop more on based on price tags and things like that. And I feel maybe there's a large majority of people that kind of follow that same way. Maybe people do brands and things like that. But I would say when the main thing when I'm shopping, I'm looking for basically probably a good bargain of something that I like.
So with bargain shopping comes with sweatshops because most bargain shopping they are really cheap, cheaply made. So they're made in sweatshops across seas. Are you aware of sweatshops?
I am aware of sweatshops. I know it in fashion as well as I think it's in a lot of other industries and kind of what they make too. But I don't know as much as I probably should.
Yeah. So as much as we want a bargain shop, it's sometimes not the best because you're contributing to those sweatshops and continuing them to run. So when you think about that, do you even understand about the conditions that they work in?
No, I mean, I've definitely heard and seen like the story that pops up every now and then on the news and things, but I think it's just, I guess it's maybe so common over there that it just gets overlooked here in America.
Yeah, I actually didn't really know much about sweatshops either and how bad their conditions were until I took this class. And we watched a video about how these students were allowed to go to another country and live and eat and sleep exactly how the people in the sweatshops had to live, eat, and sleep based off of their income. And it was really eye opening. But has it affected you in your choices of where you buy your clothing, knowing about sweatshops the little that you do?
It hasn't, it hasn't. And I think it's because the knowledge that I have and the little exposure I think that we have in our media and things like that, it's kind of a second thought because I think if anything, when those stories come out here and now, I'll like maybe just not buy anything or just not buy that new pair of clothes at all, and just kind of say, okay, this pair of jeans is fine, I can reuse it. I don't really need a new one just yet. But then, as soon as new things come up in life, you kind of forget, and then I kind of just go back to the old ways. I'd say.
Yeah. So we actually carry a brand called Alta Grazia in our bookstore on campus, which you just graduated from Marist, so
Hmm.
you've been in there. It's a company that supports the global movement for living wages, workers' rights, and safe workplace standards. And they can be found over 500 college campuses. And they're also on that popular Fanatics website that many sport fans shop on to buy their game day apparel. So if you were to go back to Marist to shop in the bookstore, I would definitely check out those pieces and
I think I could
see.
be using the Fanatics website more than the Marist bookstore, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, knowing that going forward, I do get a lot of jerseys and things like that.
Yeah. So since you're a big sports guy, what's your style and do you care about what other people think of what you're wearing?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I have a pretty not particular style, but because I obviously said I'm a bargain shopper or used to be at this point, but I think I have used a lot of athletic wear and things like that throughout my days because I was a college athlete and I do work out and things like that a lot. So I feel like I have a mix of all those clothes. But since I did that for so long, I also wanted to make sure that when I wasn't doing those things, and it was just casual wear or going out like things, I had a real style beyond just like kind of like that athlete tag that I would have. So I feel like I really do have a style of kind of like calm, kind of casual, nothing really upscale. Your common khaki pant, maybe a lot of earth tones, things like that. But I mean, I kind of just let what I see in like the media and things like that affect me. I'm not like the flashy one, but kind of like I feel like you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like that kind of guy that has like the casual gets everything like
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel the same way because I've always been an athlete my whole life,
yeah
and I was on the track team for the first 2 years of college. So going to class every single day, I wore your typical workout clothes and your stuff that your team gives you.
yeah
But being in a fashion industry, girls and everything, you have such a standard to live up to, and you
absolutely
always have to figure out your own style and what you're most comfortable in and what you're gonna wear and the people around you that you're gonna be around when you decide what you're gonna wear. So we read an article by Janet Heathram, and she outlines that we have clothes in sections that are titled about looking good, feeling good, and working well. And she asks who gets to decide about how we look and how we feel. Shouldn't it be us?
100%. I feel like it's just not how it is.
So why do you feel that way?
I feel like every time there's just a new fashion statement, it's just eventually everyone starts to follow it. And the thing that pops to my head is recently in the men's industry, this cuffing thing has taken fire, and I didn't like anything about it, and I don't like the way it looked. I kind of didn't like the way it felt, but it just that's what was in, and I kind of had to do it. And I kind of felt weird when I did it, but everyone told me it looked good. Everyone said this is in fashion, so I was like, okay, I guess it's what I have to do.
So you're basing your comfort and your emotions of how you feel that you present to the world based off of social media, your friends, and their opinions.
It may sound like a little shallow, but I would say yeah, and I feel like most people also kind of do that.
Okay. So if you were to create something that wasn't fast fashion, that was going to last you a lot longer than your pants that seem to be in style now with the cuffing,
Yeah.
if you were to create a long lasting item that fits the criteria of looking good, feeling good, and working well, what would it be?
Um, I when it comes to mind, I feel like a comfortable kind of that new material that they have for pants that's like stretchy, but it's like a good looking material. I know they do it with jeans and the khaki pants a lot. Something like that that feels like almost sweatpants, but it's like looks good. And then just the shirt doesn't matter. Just anything that's like nice and soft and comfy.
Yeah, because when you go and buy these things, they aren't made to last very long and they're not made to be comfortable. So creating an item that would be comfortable would be your most important.
Yeah, comfort definitely really high on the list, and if it can look good and people like it, it's even more.
So going off of that, we also had an assignment where we had to do a 6 item challenge, which is basically choosing 6 articles of clothing that you would have to wear for a few weeks. But you can accessorize it any way you want. But it's probably easier doing this as a boy. Would you still be able to do it?
I think I would definitely be able to do it because I feel like, especially with guys, the pants, like I was talking about, I feel like you can reuse those almost every other day, every 3 days. People really wouldn't notice because it's not as outgoing and bold kind of fashion statements.
Yeah, as a
And guys,
girl, like
as
you
a
can't
girl,
really just like you wear a dress and it not be noticeable, like
yeah,
that you're wearing it every day.
if you're wearing a dress and you wear the dress the same week, I feel like people would notice. But a guy could wear the same jeans maybe 3 days out of the week and people wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, so what would you most likely choose for 6 items?
Um, Off the top of my head, definitely jeans, khaki pants. I would say a long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, maybe a shirt that has buttons, like a button up shirt for something nice. And do shoes count as accessories?
They could be accessories.
Okay, so I get to choose whatever shoes. I would say probably some type of jacket or like sweatshirt kind of wear.
Yeah, that's similar to what I did because I focused on layering, so it's winter right now.
Yeah, true.
So you always have to think about all the different temperatures you're going to be in. You can be a really hot building or obviously freezing cold outside. So I chose like a pair of regular colored jeans, black jeans, a white t-shirt, a cardigan that I wear all the time, um, and a jacket, and just basically anything that was like easy to layer
Mhm.
and simple enough where it's like it's not an outstanding t-shirt or sweater or something that they're not going to be like, "Oh, you wore that on Monday. It's Thursday now."
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually had used you earlier in the semester for another assignment. I had asked you about an item that you wore that had been passed down to you from your dad, which was the old jacket that you wear all the time. Besides that item, do you have anything else that you own that was passed down to you?
I've definitely had some blazers that are very like standard, nothing outrageous about them that I've used before. Absolutely hats, and then I'd also say probably sweatshirts and t-shirts. I don't really go that retro with t-shirts, but I know there's some styles I've rocked with like a retro sweatshirt that definitely have been pulled off.
Do you have an emotional connection to any of them?
Definitely, definitely. Some of the ones that have the sports teams on them, and living in Connecticut, one of our sports teams isn't here anymore, so definitely a little bit of a connection to that one. But the fact that like it's not the first thing I think of, but the fact that like my dad maybe wore it and now I'm wearing it is kind of cool in a little way.
Okay. Yeah, no, I really didn't. I really don't have anything of like an article of clothing that was passed down from my mom or my grandmother. I guess it was mainly because we're really different sizes, so
Yeah,
anything of their own wouldn't have really fit me. But like I have a bunch of jewelry, like the ring I have on right now was my great grandmother's. So like I definitely have an emotional connection to that. Um but yeah, I'm not really like a person that shops a lot for jewelry, so I really just wear or take whatever's given to me and I'm not going to like throw out the jewelry cuz it's real jewelry and I don't buy like the cheap plastic
yeah,
easy stuff that you can just get rid of.
absolutely.
So, you're a nature guy, like you said. You studied environmental policies and all about sustainability in school, and you just graduated with a degree in environmental science. So, have you ever come across the term biomimicry in your studies?
No, I have not actually.
So, biomimicry is basically when we create something that uses the ideas from nature. For example, Velcro is a product of the most famously devised from the ability of certain plants and spores to adhere to things in order to travel and reproduce.
See, like yeah, obviously know about how spores and plants and they travel and that's how they reproduce and things like that. And I didn't even think that Velcro was an idea used from what they do because I understand now they what they do. They attach to animals sometimes so they can travel, move to different places, and mostly with plants and like seeds. That's how they move and grow trees and plants in different places. But that's kind of crazy to me to think that that's where Velcro came from and where their
Yeah.
first idea was.
Yeah, so we took the idea and applied it to other parts of the fashion industry, and I decided to focus on the use of plastic bags because I worked in a showroom this semester and I noticed that every single garment that was shipped in and out was placed in its own single plastic bag. And I thought it was absolutely absurd because if you think about it, that garment is going to be placed into another plastic bag when it is sold, and then maybe even another one if it's given as a gift, which is a lot of wasted plastic with way too many chemicals and byproducts to just be thrown out and sit in a landfill somewhere. So I focused on time degradation for this assignment. Do you know what that means?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically how long it takes for the plastic to decompose itself. And some stores have actually switched to 100% recycled plastic bags that have a sugarcane base, so it decomposes in a year or less rather than the normal plastic bags that take 500 years or more. And those ones will leak chemicals into Earth, unlike these ones.
Yeah, so 100%. I know a lot of things. I've heard people reusing plastic bags or having plastic bags that decompose on their own in many parts of different industries other than just plastic bags, just any kind of plastic that people use. And I think we've started to see that in the food industry with the straws.
Yeah,
This is a
definitely.
big one going on right now. And basically all over, people are trying to switch because we're realizing that we can't just keep putting these things. We're going to run out of space.
Yeah, exactly. I know some like major companies like Zara have switched to plastic bags that are somewhat decomposable, but they're not completely there yet. But a lot of little boutiques have switch to the sugarcane based plastic bags. But thank you for giving me a moment of your time, and I hope you have been enlightened more to the parallels between fashion industry and sustainability.
Yeah, absolutely. Going forward, I'm definitely going to pay attention to this more. And as a person that's kind of an environmental scientist, kind of taking my passion about sustainability and things like this, I now have like a new sector that I can talk about and kind of pursue to project myself as this kind of like environmentalist. But absolutely, thank you for having me.
Yep. Thank you again.